Well, I contributed to the discussion on the day, and the whole subject throws up a number of issues. I'm not sure we have enough time to delve into all of them. But let's set the record straight. The NDC did not oppose the establishment of the OSP. Yeah, go and check hands out.
Yeah.
The committee.
There may be a couple of
the
people.
committee brought a unanimous report, and indeed,
And I was part of the committee.
yes, the ranking member at the time, who is now the current Attorney General Dominic Ayine, spoke in favor of the establishment of the OSP, the Office of Special Prosecutor, and the reasoning and rationale behind the Akufo-Addo government's decision to establish that office. At the time, I was Deputy Chief of Staff, and I was very much involved. Is one that I believe is noble, and it's one that should be commended, which was to get an office dedicated to fighting corruption. That's the first issue. The second is the whole business or the whole issue of separation of powers and the independence of parliament, legislature. And I think that leader will probably find it a bit difficult to put it the way I am, but that is a fact. I mean, the whole thing, the way it played out, further weakened the independence of parliament. There's absolutely no two ways about that, because this was a clear situation of the executive. Well, the language was not directing or instructing, but the executive more or less mothering and midwifing parliament, legislature. Clearly,
it was a request.
Well, whatever it was. I mean, that's a fact. I mean, whichever way that's request, direct, instruct, or whatever. Our semantics. At the end of the day, what the president wished for prevailed, and there are other in other democracies I know of parliaments where members of the ruling party have joined the opposition to vote against certain decisions of the government or certain policies of the government. I'm also not naive, and I'm not going to be pretentious here to say that the executive doesn't have some influence in parliament. There's absolutely no. In the Akufo-Addo government, the executive had influence. All governments, the executive have had influence. So what has happened is not particularly strange, but it is just how it was dressed. The whole optics of it didn't look good. I mean, I think it's important for us to point that out. I mean, the leader and the majority and my chief whip, for example, could have been spoken to quietly, and they could have found ways within the parliamentary system and practice to allow or to let what they are trying to do slide, or to let sleeping dogs lie, as we say in Ghana. But the public almost rebuke of the majority leader and the chief whip, both by the executive and the party, in my personal respectful view, was not a rebuke to them personally. In my view, it wasn't an embarrassment to the majority or the majority chief whip personally. I think it was more of a rebuke to parliament, and it was a further weakening of the independence of parliament.